In the early 20th century, car manufacturing was a slow, laborious process. Factories were bustling with activity, but the methods used were far from efficient. Each car was a unique creation, assembled with meticulous care and attention to detail. This artisanal approach, while producing high-quality vehicles, was not conducive to mass production. Skilled craftsmen painstakingly assembled each vehicle by hand. These workers were masters of their trade, often spending years perfecting their skills. The process was time-consuming, with each car taking days, if not weeks, to complete. This method limited the number of cars that could be produced, making them a luxury item accessible only to the wealthy. Cars were expensive, and production was limited. The high cost of labor and materials, combined with the slow production process, meant that only a few cars could be made each year. This exclusivity kept prices high, and the dream of car ownership was out of reach for the average person. Ford saw the inherent inefficiencies in this traditional approach. He observed the bottlenecks and delays that plagued the production process. Ford was a visionary, always looking for ways to improve and innovate. He believed that there had to be a better way to manufacture cars, one that would make them affordable for everyone. He recognized the need to streamline production. Ford understood that to revolutionize the industry, he had to rethink the entire manufacturing process. He began to analyze every step, looking for ways to eliminate waste and increase efficiency. This meticulous analysis was the foundation of his groundbreaking ideas. By breaking down the manufacturing process into smaller, more manageable tasks, Ford believed he could significantly increase efficiency. He envisioned a system where each worker would perform a specific task repeatedly, rather than building an entire car. This specialization would not only speed up production, but also reduce errors and improve quality. He knew that time wasted translated to higher costs every minute spent on unnecessary tasks, or waiting for materials added to the overall cost of production. Ford's goal was to minimize these inefficiencies, creating a seamless, continuous flow of work that would keep the factory running smoothly and efficiently. Ford was determined to find a better way, a way to make cars affordable for the average person. He was driven by the belief that everyone should have the opportunity to own a car, not just the wealthy. This vision of affordability and accessibility was the driving force behind his relentless pursuit of innovation. Ford understood that mass production was the key. He realized that to achieve his goal, he needed to produce cars on a scale never seen before. Mass production would allow him to lower costs, increase output, and make cars available to a much wider audience. He studied other industries like meatpacking, looking for inspiration. Ford was particularly interested in the efficiency of the meatpacking plants, where workers performed specific tasks in a sequential order. This assembly line approach intrigued him, and he began to think about how it could be applied to car manufacturing. He realized that by standardizing parts and processes, he could produce cars on a scale never seen before. Standardization would allow for interchangeable parts, reducing the time and cost of production. This approach would also simplify repairs and maintenance, making car ownership more practical and affordable. This relentless pursuit of efficiency would lead him to develop a revolutionary new system. The assembly line, with its emphasis on specialization and standardization, transformed car manufacturing. It allowed Ford to produce cars quickly and cheaply, making the dream of car ownership a reality for millions of people. This innovation not only changed the automotive industry, but also set the stage for modern manufacturing practices. Ford's answer to the inefficiencies of traditional manufacturing was the moving assembly line. This innovation was not just a minor tweak, but a complete overhaul of how manufacturing was approached. Before this, the process of building a car was laborious and time-consuming, with skilled workers moving from one station to another, each performing a variety of tasks. This method was not only inefficient, but also prone to errors and inconsistencies. Inspired by the continuous flow processes he observed in other industries, Ford adapted the concept for car production. He meticulously studied the methods used in industries like meatpacking and milling, where products moved continuously through various stages of production. Ford saw the potential to apply these principles to automobile manufacturing, envisioning a system where the car itself would move from one worker to the next, each performing a specific task. This groundbreaking innovation would change the course of industrial history. The moving assembly line not only revolutionized car manufacturing, but also set a precedent for other industries to follow. It demonstrated the power of efficiency and specialization, leading to a wave of industrial innovations that would shape the modern world.
The assembly line was deceptively simple, yet remarkably effective. It broke down the complex process of car manufacturing into smaller, manageable tasks. Each worker became a specialist in their assigned task, which not only increased efficiency, but also reduced the need for highly skilled labor. This simplicity was the key to its success. Instead of skilled workers moving from station to station to assemble a car, the car moved to them. This shift in the workflow meant that each worker could remain at their station, performing the same task repeatedly. This not only saved time, but also minimized the physical strain on workers as they no longer had to move around the factory floor. Each worker on the line was responsible for a specific task, repeating it as the car moved along. This division of labor was a game changer. By focusing on a single task, workers became highly proficient, leading to faster production times and fewer mistakes. The repetitive nature of the work also allowed for easier training of new employees, further streamlining the production process. This division of labor drastically reduced production time and costs. The efficiency gains were staggering. What once took days could now be accomplished in hours. This reduction in production time translated directly into cost savings, allowing Ford to produce more cars at a lower cost.
With the assembly line, Ford was able to produce cars at an unprecedented rate. The Model T, which had once been a luxury item, became affordable for the average American. This mass production capability was a testament to the power of the assembly line and its impact on manufacturing. The time it took to build a Model T chassis was reduced from over 12 hours to a mere 90 minutes. This dramatic reduction in assembly time was a direct result of the efficiency of the moving assembly line. It allowed Ford to keep up with the growing demand for automobiles, ensuring that more people could experience the freedom and mobility that cars provided. This dramatic increase in efficiency allowed Ford to lower the price of its cars, making them accessible to a wider market. The Model T became a symbol of the American dream, representing the possibilities of innovation and the promise of a better future. Families across the country could now afford a car, changing the landscape of American society and paving the way for the modern automotive industry. Section 4: Efficiency Unleashed, Transforming the Auto Industry. The implementation of the assembly line revolutionized the auto industry. Ford's competitors were initially skeptical, but the results spoke for themselves.
The Model T, built on the assembly line, became the epitome of affordable, reliable transportation. As production costs plummeted, so did the price of the Model T. This affordability opened up car ownership to a whole new segment of society, forever changing the landscape of transportation.
The success of the Model T and the efficiency of the assembly line forced other automakers to adapt or be left behind. The assembly line became the standard in car manufacturing, not just in America, but around the world.
Ford's innovation had a ripple effect, influencing manufacturing processes across various industries. His unwavering focus on efficiency had reshaped the industrial landscape.
Section 5: The $5 Workday, a bold move for worker welfare. Henry Ford understood that a happy and motivated workforce was crucial to his company's success. He recognized that the well-being of his employees directly impacted their productivity and ultimately the company's bottom line. Ford's innovative approach to worker welfare was not just about increasing wages, it was about creating a sustainable and loyal workforce that would drive the company forward.
In a bold move that shocked the industry, Ford introduced the $5 workday in 1914. This decision was unprecedented and sent shockwaves through the business world. At a time when most companies were focused on minimizing labor costs, Ford's decision to more than double the prevailing wage was seen as radical and even reckless by some. Ford introduced the $5 workday in 1914. This significant wage increase, more than double the prevailing rate at the time, aimed to improve the lives of his workers and reduce turnover. By offering such a substantial pay raise, Ford hoped to attract the best talent and retain his existing workforce, reducing the costs associated with high employee turnover and constant retraining. This significant wage increase, more than double the prevailing rate at the time, aimed to improve the lives of his workers and reduce turnover. Ford's strategy was not just about paying more, it was about creating a work environment where employees felt valued and respected. This approach was revolutionary in an era when workers were often seen as expendable resources.
The $5 workday was more than just a pay raise, it was a statement. It signaled a shift in how companies could view and treat their employees. Ford's decision was a bold declaration that workers deserved fair compensation for their labor and that their well-being was integral to the company's success. Ford believed that by paying his workers a living wage, he could improve their standard of living and foster loyalty to the company. He understood that a well-compensated worker was more likely to be productive, motivated, and committed to the company's goals. This philosophy was a stark contrast to the prevailing attitudes of the time, which often prioritized profits over people.
This revolutionary concept challenged the prevailing notion that workers were simply cogs in the machine. Ford's approach humanized the workforce, recognizing their contributions and the importance of their well-being. It was a radical departure from the norm and set a new standard for how companies could treat their employees. The impact of the $5 workday was profound. It not only improved the lives of Ford's workers, but also had a ripple effect throughout the industry. Other companies began to take notice and reconsider their own labor practices, leading to broader changes in how workers were treated and compensated. It attracted a more skilled and stable workforce, reducing training costs and boosting productivity. By offering competitive wages, Ford was able to attract top talent, which in turn improved the quality of the company's products and services. This strategy proved to be a win-win for both the company and its employees.
Moreover, it fostered a sense of loyalty and pride among Ford employees. Workers felt valued and appreciated, which translated into higher morale and a stronger commitment to the company's success. This sense of loyalty was a key factor in Ford's ability to maintain a stable and productive workforce. The $5 workday became a symbol of Ford's commitment to his workers' well-being. It demonstrated that a company could be both profitable and socially responsible, setting a precedent for future generations of business leaders. Ford's bold move not only transformed his company, but also left a lasting legacy on the entire industry.